One of the privileges of presenting Songs of Praise is you get to hear some amazing personal testimonies. Last year, Kate Botley was moved to tears when she spoke to Charlie Duke, one of only 12 people to have ever walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Even if you weren't born in 1969, the chances are that you'll recognise those words from the surface of the moon. But there's another voice on the recordings, and that's the voice of the man that I'm about to meet, Charles Duke.
We've had shutdown.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Okay, everybody, T1, stand by for T1.
My role was CAPCOM, which is an acronym for Capsule Communicator. It's the only person in Mission Control that can actually talk to Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
The Eagle has landed.
3 years later, Charlie was in space himself as part of the Apollo 16 mission. At the age of 36, he was the 10th and youngest man on the moon.
It was amazingly beautiful to me. The moon was mostly shades of gray, but very bright sunlight reflection. You can't really feel the surface through your moon boots. So there was just these emotional highs that continued for 3 days.
And any fear?
I only had one moment of fear, and that was due to something I shouldn't have done. I was trying to set the high jump record on the moon, and so I gave a big jump, and when I did, I jumped up and fell over backwards. And going over backwards, that was scary because if I hit on my back solidly, my life support system was on the back. It was going to take none of this empty.
But you left things behind, didn't you?
I did. The most memorable for me was a picture of my family. Our boys were young, and we had a family picture taken in our backyard, and we all signed it. And one of the last things I did before I stepped off the moon was to drop that picture onto the moon. And I took a picture of the picture.
Got me crying.
Your only thought was, let's go. I'm ready to launch.
Returning from the moon, despite the status of his achievement, life still didn't feel complete.
Mama, one day I'm going to walk on the moon.
I'd reached the top. Now what are you going to do? And so I struggled with no peace. And 2.5 years later, I decided to go to a Bible study. And over that weekend, I realized that this is what I need. I realized that Jesus was the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. And if I wanted my life to be peace and love and joy, I needed to let him come into my life. And that was 1978. And so we've been serving the Lord ever since.
And your face has lit up even more than when you were talking about the moon landings.
Yeah. Well, my walking with Jesus is a lot more important than my walking on the moon.
Underneath the stars you left me, I wonder if the stars regret me. I'm sure they
Now, last month, record numbers watched the Football World Cup on TV, and if, like me, you're missing the action, this next piece is just for you. Daniel Cutting is one of the world's leading freestyle footballers, which has recently become a global phenomenon. And how long have you been doing freestyling for?
It's been my full-time job for about 8 years.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing for probably nearer to 20 years. So, yeah,
So
not
since you were a
overnight.
little kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And you must have some records.
Got a couple of world records, yeah. Various different freestyle skills that you can do.
Yeah.
So once I'd learned to kind of just juggle the ball and do all the easy stuff, you know, the stuff that you learn when you're young as well.
I don't even learn that, so...
I learned to kind of balance the ball on my head like this.
Yeah.
And then once I'd learned to get it there, I learned to tilt my head to the side and balance it in my temple.
Yeah.
And then you roll it over and catch it, roll it back, and basically over and back counts as a face roll. And I did 1,810 in a row.
Wow, your neck must have been really aching after that.
I didn't have anything to do for a spare hour that day, so I thought, why not go for it?
Daniel holds a total of 5 world records, but didn't consider becoming a professional freestyler until he graduated in sport and PE from university, choosing a career in football over teaching.
As a Christian, you know, I really believe that this was my God-given gift and it was something that he wanted me to do. I can't say I ever heard the voice of God saying, Daniel, you will be a freestyler, but I just had that sense in my spirit, and when I prayed through it with mum and dad and other friends and family, and just thought, you know, I'd be silly not to try this and to really go for something that I'm so passionate about.
Daniel now has 1 million followers on social media and travels the world showcasing his extraordinary talents.
So I think people always think of God-given skills and abilities as the gift of leadership or the gift of discernment or those kind of the gift of encouragement. But God has given us so many different gifts, you know, physical gifts that you can actually use.
He's given you the gift of tricks.
He's given me the gift of freestyle. Not well, you're okay. You weren't too bad. Yes! Oh. Wow. Maybe a few more years practice. But that's the amazing thing, isn't it? He's given me this gift and ability, and I really believe that. But it was still, you know, hours and hours of practice every day. Just because I had that God-given ability and skill, it didn't mean that I just woke up one day and went, whoa, Mum, look what I can do. I went to bed, woke up and the ball was spinning on my finger. It was the hours of practice and the discipline and the perseverance which God's given me in order to actually get to this level.
Everybody say freedom, yes, I'm singing freedom, yes, I'm dancing freedom, yes, I'm shouting freedom, freedom, oh freedom, yes, I'm singing freedom, yeah, I'm dancing freedom, yes, I'm shouting freedom, freedom. My life is not the same, your love has rescued me, everything is
We recently launched our search for the next Songs of Praise Gospel Choir of the Year, and if you're thinking of entering a choir, details of how to apply, full terms and privacy notice are on our website. And if you want to know what a winning performance sounds like, here are the champions from our very first gospel choir competition back in 2013.
Jesus